Hey, beautiful people. So I just stopped by to remind you the importance of self-love. And when we look at self-love, for most of us, we are able to identify it with someone else that's connected to us, some material things, or something that's external. But I want you to know that self-love, it comes from within. It's something that you are birthed with. It is something that is with you when you first open your eyes in the morning. And see, far too often we allow the trials, the stress, the burdens, the worries, the attacks that come up against us, right? Those external forces that aim to stress out your day, that aim to deteriorate your peace. We battle against not flesh and blood, but we battle against principalities. We battle against darkness that walks upon the face of this earth. And many times people will have that darkness inside of them, and their whole intention is to project that upon you. And it is required of us to draw into us. You know, it's as if you drop that pail into the well of water. That's the thirst. That's the hydration from God that replenishes us, that restores us, that gives us strength to never thirst. Okay? So when God is for you, who can be against you? See, I want you to know that it doesn't matter who turned their back on you in the storm. It does not matter who went against you. It does not matter who did not believe you, who did not fight for you. Because when God is fighting your battle, it don't matter if the whole world turned their back on you. You will be victorious because God is king. And when God is king, God has the ability to assist you to adjust your crown, even when you don't even know that you deserve to wear a crown. See, I want you to know, gods and goddesses, queens and kings, despite your religious background, despite your upbringing, God knew who you was before he shaped you. And God knew that you was a conqueror. God knew that you was able to withstand some hardships that many people would never be able to survive a minute in your shoes. Okay? So when the naysayers look upon you and they look at your life and they pass judgment on you and they say, I would have did this, or I should have, could have, would have did that, you don't pay no attention to that. Sometimes you need to close your ears and understand that you must fall in order to stand. See, if you're standing and you're walking and you're moving blindly, sometimes you got to fall flat on your butt just as a child do and get up, brush it off, and take yet another step. As long as God continues to wake you up, I want you to get up and love you, okay? And it's not just about shaming the enemy in this season. That's not what it's about. It's about loving every facet of you, loving you with makeup, without makeup, loving you with extensions, loving you without extensions, loving you when you gain a few extra pounds, and loving you when you shake off those extra pounds. See, regardless of what, we have to live in our body. We are required to love ourselves because we wake up with ourselves. We move with ourselves. So the rejection of self, that just means that you are really moving out here as a target. See, understand that God's chosen and God's children already are targets of the enemy. And when you know that and you understand that there's a target on you just because of the energy that moves with you, just because the angels surround you, you have demonic entities that target you. So because of that, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to love you even when you have nothing, even when the circumstances are set against you, even when everything around you has fell apart, even when no one is there but you, and you are sitting in a room looking at the four walls. You have to look inside of you and know that from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, my body is my temple, and my temple is the kingdom of God. And as long as God lives in me and dwells in me, I will never be alone along this journey. See, there is no storm that can come up that can destroy you, that can enter your boat. See, it's the water that gets inside of the boat that has the ability to sink the boat. But sometimes God sends us on journeys where it looks like we may not make it out of these journeys. Or sometimes God will allow the devil to send us upon journeys where it may look like we won't get out of those journeys, but God will lead us right back to where we started at because we missed a step. And sometimes missing that steps requires you to go back to the beginning and to completely start over, because not only did you gain the wisdom from that journey, but you also learned how to trust yourself, how to draw closer to God, how to pray for confirmation, how to ask God for discernment, for wisdom, how to ask God to order my steps. See, some of us didn't grow up in the church, whereas others grew up in the church and they may have backslid from their faith. But God doesn't judge us from our past. God says, come as you are. And when you come as you are, I will be there to open my arms to accept you. See, understand that when you are the kingdom of God, and you know God dwells in you, and you honor and you protect your temple, and you love yourself with every inch and every piece of who you are, there is no weapon that is formed against you that will prosper. It is not no weapon formed against you that will prosper. Chosen one, some of y'all parents went against y'all. Some of y'all closest friends went against y'all. Some of the people that you genuinely loved and supported and stood up for, they put you in unusual circumstances because of your navet of discernment, because you rejected your intuition, yet you wanted to believe in man and mankind. But mankind is typically selfish. Mankind typically focuses on self. Mankind, if you are allowing the blind to lead you, the blind will typically lead you to a ditch, okay? But God will have a tunnel in that ditch that will lead you right back to safety. So even though you may skate on thin ice, anytime you continuously do the same thing over and over and over again, and you expect a different result, or you expect something different from people that has continuously showed you the same thing over and over again, it's like no matter what you do, what you give to these people, they just continuously show you who they are. If you fail to believe these people when they show you who they are, and when you fail to acknowledge their true intentions, then that means that it's required of you to stop and to draw closer into yourself and to love on you a little bit more, to love you more enough to walk away from people, to love you enough to slam the door closed when God closes it. If you feel that you are trapped in a location, or you are trapped in a relationship, or you are trapped in a specific place, you need to kick that door down and move through that. And in other instances, sometimes you need to kick the door shut, and you need to close off access and not allow people to have access to you, because oftentimes they will just keep on pulling from you. And as they pull from you and pull from you, and they just keep taking from you, you will find yourself in a space by yourself, empty and alone. And the very ones that pulled from you and took from you, they not even there to reach their hand out to help you. They are not there to give you encouraging words. They are not there as a source of support for you. Meanwhile, most times they was only there to use you, chosen one. See, I want you to know that can't nobody use you and take nothing from you that God will not allow them to take from you. And sometimes you just have to start over. And when I say start over from nothing. Because when you have nothing on the material realm, spiritually, you are wealthy. You have everything. Because the willingness and the humility to walk away from everything and to start from nothing, that means that God will see you through. See, sometimes we don't know what to ask God for, but know that God knows everything that you need. God knows what you need, when you need it, and God will be there to reveal to you the things that he needed to remove you from. And God will also provide for you. See, God is our provider. God is our strength. God is our source of refuge. God is our shelter of hope. And when you draw into that space and know that just as the Samaritan woman washed Jesus' feet with her hair, okay, it was her faith. It was not her sins. It was not the sins of her past. It was not the sins of her lineage. It was not the generational curses. See, these parable teaches us that these things are generational curses. But it was her faith and it was her willingness to trust and believe that, that she would receive healing, that she will receive healing on a deeper level that will bring her closer to God. See, sometimes all we need is just that touch of God, and all we need is just that inch of faith, that little piece where, where the woman touched Jesus' garment and, he felt the energy leave from his body. But it was her faith where she didn't have to communicate with him. She did not have to talk to him. See, God don't require us to be people of many words. God does not require our prayers to be 2, 3, 4 hours long. Sometimes you don't know what to say, but it's that moment to just say, God, I need you. God, I need you to come into this space with me. God, I don't know what to do, but God, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to trust that you are going to direct me and show me exactly the steps that I need to take that's going to prosper me. And as you prosper and you move along your journey, that prospering is drawing closer to God. That prospering is developing your wisdom. That prospering is healing your vessel. That prospering is sweeping your temple clean from all of those demons that aim to plague you, from all of those arrows that are shooting at your mind, from those arrows that want to cripple you, from those the witchcraft and the voodoo and the curses and the dark magic that want to make your knees weak. See, understand that, it's a lot of dark things out here in this world. And, that dark magic, it has the ability to entangle your mind and to confuse you and to, make you stumble and fall. But a wise man may fall 7 times. A wise man may fall 20 times. But what matters is, do you get up? Because see, when you get up, even when you are bruised, even when you are scared, even when you are shaken, even when you are afraid, do it afraid. Get up and take that next step. God, I don't know what to do. God, I throw my hands up because at this point I am overwhelmed. At this point I am burdened. At this point I don't know what is going on around me, God. But Psalm 91 say, though an army may fall in front of you, no harm shall come upon you. See, when you trust God and you know that I may be hurting in this season, God, my body is aching. God, my heart is broken. God, my mind is entangled. God, the weeds and the seeds that are planted in my body, they are determined to trip me up, to cause me to lose my way. But God, I trust you, and I know that you are a way maker. God, I know that you create miracles. And God, I know that you have the ability to step in, show out, and show up and show out at any situation. So no matter what the naysayers may say about you, no matter how bad they may talk about you, no matter the rumors that they say about you, no matter who walked away from you, know that if they walked away from you in a season, that means that God was revealing to you who they truly was. Sometimes people will be there when you're doing good, but when you're doing bad, they walk away from you. But God will reveal to us, because it's in that moment when you need support. What are they saying to you? It's in that moment when you need encouragement. What are they words of encouragement? It's in that moment when you feel so abandoned and alone and betrayed, and you just want to quit and just give up on everything and just give up on life and give up on yourself. And when one single word of encouragement has the ability to transform your day, many times people around you, they will say negative things to you. They will talk down to you. They will abuse you when you already feel defeated. See, when you are faced with circumstances such as these that I'm talking about, it's in that moment when you trust who people show you that they are. See, people can tell you anything. A person can say anything with their mouth, but their actions will prove to you who they truly are. Their actions will prove to you who really is your support. Their actions will prove to you who really got your back. See, in this season, it is required for you to love on you and to be more selfish with your energy, to be selfish with your time, to be selfish with your empathy, to be selfish with your support, because you need support. And when you need support, that means that you need to pour that into you and pour it all into you. And it's that space and that time where you will be able to reach out your hand and to help people from afar. But know that when they walk away from you, and when you get back on your feet and you begin to move forward and you start to heal, you don't let these people get back close to you like that again. Because when you allow the same energies to enter your life, what it does is it rips the scab off the wound that you already healed. What it does is it gives them the ability, people have these silent intentions. And it's like, well, if I did this to this person and they accepted it, then I could do that again. Or, you have the other one where they'll get in close enough to you so that you can trust them again. But meanwhile, they're the same person and they're going to do the same thing to you over and over and over again. So you don't deserve that. And you was not created to be a damn walking post for nothing or for no one. I don't care if it's the person that birthed you in this world. I don't care if it's the person that raised you. I don't care who it is. It really does not matter, because you was not created to be a walking post. And even though you have a forgiving nature, because that's what you are required to do to maintain your internal peace, that doesn't mean that you open the door for people to continuously hurt you. And as you continue to love you and to love on every piece of who you are, it's in that space where you will not allow anyone to treat you any way that doesn't feel good to you. If it doesn't feel good to you, you're going to identify it and you're going to say, no, this is abuse. No, this doesn't make me feel good. No, I don't like the way you're talking to me. See, we need to check people. And sometimes when you pull up and you check people, they don't like it. Sometimes when you start doing something different, people don't like it, because you start to rip and break those chains. See, God said the chains are broken. But when those chains are broken, sometimes they're still hanging on to our flesh. Sometimes they're still attached to us. See, we are required to destroy those chains. And when I say destroy them, I mean destroy them, throw them away, get rid of them, because they are designed to keep you bound. See, those chains have the ability to wrap and entwine right back around you. But in this season, God said it's time for something new. And even though you don't know what that new is, and you don't know what that new looks like, you don't even know you, because you were so programmed for so long that this journey is requiring you to get to know you and to love you. And in that space, sometimes it could be the scariest thing you ever done, because for so long you were so busy fixing this person and trying to help that person and going here and doing that and doing this and doing that, all for someone else. But in that space where it's required of you to get to know you, sometimes you realize and you wake up to the point into the reality that I never even knew myself, because everything about me was programmed. And when you break outside of that program, and sometimes you got to get in a dictionary to look up a word just to identify the emotion that you are feeling. Sometimes you need to just stop and breathe. Sometimes you need to just not be bothered. Because if you don't want to be bothered and you don't want to be around certain people, then you don't. See, we are not required to smile when we don't want to. We are not required to fake feelings and emotions when we don't feel that way. We are not required to show up and be someone that we are not. And far too often we become accustomed to occupying space that don't feel good to us. Like, what feels good to you? And it's that moment where you ask yourself, what feels good to me? And even if you don't know what feels good to you, then take your time and trust and know that that answer will be delivered to you. Take your time and know that eventually you will learn to love you, that you will learn what you like, you will learn what you want, and you won't be afraid to go after that thing and, do what makes you feel good. So I just want to encourage you, like I said before, to just love you, to love every aspect of who you are, to love your flaws, to love your shortcomings, to love your present state of reality. Because guess what? It always gets greater later. And it don't matter if you fell flat on your face. Brush it off, get up, and try again, right? So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I'm going to catch up with you on the next one.